Good evening. What's up, El Paso? It's your man, Edgar Agüero, here with Team Jackie Stevens. We are live during our podcast. And today, guys, I have the distinctive pleasure of bringing on a very good friend of mine. We went and did University of NMSU. Now I have the distinctive pleasure of introducing him as UTEP's women's volleyball coach. How you doing, Big Wallis?
Doing well, buddy boy. I appreciate you having me on. I love spending time with our local flavors of the week and know what's going on around the world of El Paso. And so, man, yeah, I'm excited to be here, buddy boy.
Awesome, man. Well, again, I'm very honored, man, to have you on here because I know it's been a roller coaster ride for you here this past weekend. Amazing things in a good way. So I want you to touch a little bit on that. Wow. UTEP Miners, man, they clinched the highest seed in 37 years. What does that mean to you, my man?
You know, it means a lot, buddy. You know how much time I spent in New Mexico State, and I went to school there. I coached there. I left and came back and coached there again. And so when they hired me at UTEP, the whole goal was to compete for championships. That's what they were looking for. And so when Jim Center reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want you to come apply for our job," I said, "I think you can win at UTEP. I really do. I think you can win in this timeline." And so this is year 2 for us. And I felt all along in year 2, if we get the right kids in, if we change the program, culturally, when it comes to the way they compete and the way they care about volleyball, and you get the right players in athletically, I felt like we could compete in year 2, and we've shown that and we've done that. So to get those wins this weekend against a good opponent on our home floor, but those were makeup games because of COVID. So we should have played them the first matches of the year, and so we had to wait till the last matches of the year to wrap everything up. So my team has been through a lot to be able to get those wins and get the number 2 seed in the conference tournament behind Rice, who's a top 25 team. We played them on our home floor without 2 of our starters and still gave them fits. So that was a big deal. And it shows that if you just put some time and energy into things in El Paso and you put the right people in the right places when it comes to giving them opportunities, that you can win here. And I'm excited that our team's going to have a chance to go compete for a championship in year 2.
That's crazy, man. Because I'll go ahead and just let the audience know on a little secret. So about a year and a half ago, I reached out to Ben. We kind of, we go back to our NMSU days, and you were coming into El Paso, and we met. I got to visit the facility there. Had never been to UTEP volleyball. I have a couple of cousins that play volleyball, very good at it, and go to the UTEP camps. It's about all I really knew at the time. But one thing I did, had the opportunity, we had good lunch and just talked to it. And I said, man, what got you into coaching, man? So I want you to kind of share with El Paso, got you into volleyball, because that's not the Ben that I knew back in the day. And nothing against that, right? But when I saw it, I'm like, is this Ben Wallis? And I was in amazement, because I was like, man, that's awesome. One of our guys is doing big things in my hometown. So I said, let me talk to him. So I want you to share that with us, man.
It's a funny, strange thing sometimes. Like you, Edgar, I know that you didn't set out in the world that you and I knew each other in when you were younger to be able to sell and be great at selling homes and redoing homes. Like, that wasn't your life's work dream when I knew you when we were young. But sometimes in your walk of life, you literally fall into the thing that you're destined to do really well and you're really good at. And when I got to New Mexico State, I was a 17-year-old complete mess and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And I was in music at the time. I wanted to be a music major, and I wanted to get my education to be able to teach music. And I was a volleyball player at the time. I had played a little bit, and we got dabbling in that. And when Mike Jordan got hired in New Mexico State in 1998, I started becoming a practice player and then a volunteer coach for them. And little by little, I just realized that I was really good at this. And I always wanted to coach and I always wanted to teach. But that was the beginning of my career as a volleyball coach. And over the course of time, if you put enough time and energy into things, just like you do on a daily basis, learning about the market and understanding what people are looking for in homes and how to match their desires and dreams. It's the same thing in coaching. And I just realized that I was good at this and that I wanted to pursue it full time. So I stopped teaching. I taught for 13 years and coached for 13 years. I stopped teaching and I pursued college volleyball, and it's a passion of mine. And I just found a niche, man. It's like everything you do, like Charlie Sakaitis with broadcasting sports and news. Like, who would have ever known that guy was going to do that? But that he was great at that, you know? And so all of our friends that we love and we know when they were younger and we were stupid and we were immature and we didn't understand what the world was about. Now you look at them and go, God, they're so good at these things, but they found their niche. And that niche was volleyball for me, for sure.
You know, it's funny when you talk about niche, because I mean, I feel like that's always correlates and works hand in hand when it comes to sports. And I imagine it's the same thing with volleyball with your young team. They found their niche, right? Because I remember talking to you like, you know what, man, we can just compete. We'll start building on that and we'll see how it goes, you know, and, you know, just the results that you're seeing right now. I think you guys have found that niche. I mean, because you guys are a young team, Ben. I think you mentioned to me here prior to getting on live, you have one senior.
One senior.
Yes,
Jones
has one senior. You have 3 starting freshmen, a couple of juniors there. So, I mean, what's that one thing that you say is helping you guys drive the season and is making it a lot easier for you as a coach on the side?
Well, I'll tell you, Cheyenne Jones is the only senior we have, but she's a big part of what we do. She's potentially a first-team all-conference kid. And the last person to do that at UTEP, I want to say, was in 2011. I think 10 years ago was the last first-team all-conference kid for us. And she is going to be missed for sure. But we have a 6-headed dragon, so to speak. We have 6 players that can score at any given time, and that was the plan all along, was to recruit kids that could score anywhere on the floor. We've got young players. We've got some sophomores and juniors that are contributing really well. And we've got one older lady, one grandma, so to speak, in Cheyenne Jones that will be sorely missed when she leaves. But we have a diverse team. We have a team that's a chameleon in a lot of ways. And when you play a team that can change with whatever team you're playing against, that's a bugaboo. You know what I mean? That's a difficult thing to deal with when you have to worry about, what are they going to do against us? Not necessarily this is what they always do, let's stop it. You know, we can change on the fly, which is great. And that's exciting to be able to be that different. And our youth and our ability to play hard, and we pass it great. We serve it tough. We're one of the best passing and serving teams in the conference. And we're one of the best offensive teams in the conference. So when you put that together, when you look at the stats in 2018, when we took the job, 2019, when we took the job, UTEP was the worst team in the conference in offensive and defensive efficiency. And now we're number 3 in offense behind 2 top 25 teams, and we're number 4 in defense. So when you're talking about stopping people and scoring, all of a sudden you have the ability to be a chameleon, and that's why we're winning.
That's awesome, man. And just in a year, and I'm sure you didn't draw it up that way, but you know, I'm sure in a lot of ways you did too. You saw the team, you started seeing those strengths, you started putting them together. Because I mean, you're a part of NMSU's nice 6-year run, right? Which was I'm looking here, 100 and something, 36 victories or whatever it was. So I mean, that's a great run, and you're starting to see. I would imagine you took a lot from Coach Jordan. You're bringing it on over to your program, and you're building on that. But to do it this quick, I mean, that's amazing. And then you're doing it here in El Paso, which has always been, I want to say, probably one of the toughest places when it comes to recruiting. I mean, at least I know football, basketball, it's always kind of hit and miss. It's been a while, you know, but it's always exciting to know that we can rally behind our group, and we have that opportunity to do that with your team this year.
Yeah, you know, I think recruiting is all about selling the strengths of the city you're in. And UTEP has its deficiencies when it comes to athletics. There's everywhere you go, you're going to have weaknesses. But the things that we have here that I think are the most important things are diversity. Our city is so cool that we have so many places that we can go and that we can reach out to and that we can latch onto. And it's just different. I mean, there's so many different ways that El Paso can relate to other people. And let me give you an example. So Hande Yedis is a freshman setter from us from Turkey. Okay, she's from Turkey. She's from all the way across the ocean. And comes to us. She did not get here in the fall because COVID did not allow for her. They shut down their borders. They shut down the consulate. She didn't get her I-20 visa. to be able to come and play for us in the fall. So she had to sit and wait in her country until January, until they open the borders back up again. Once she gets here, the first thing that happens when she gets here is she gets COVID. As soon as she got off the plane, she tested positive for COVID. So she gets stuck in her dorm room for 14 days and gets stuck in quarantine. That's the first thing she experienced coming to the States was she got COVID, which is a nightmare. Okay. The second thing she experiences is the fact that right down the street from her dorm room is a Turkish restaurant I think it's called Kebabs. And she latched onto that place, and she was so stoked that just down the street from UTEP, there's a Turkish restaurant that she could go get a little home cooking. And that's the way UTEP is, man. That's the way that El Paso is. We've got Puerto Rican restaurants. We got Mexican restaurants. We got Turkish restaurants. We got Indian restaurants. We got a little bit of everything here. And that's what makes El Paso great. It's a melting pot. And that's the way our team is. And that's the flair and the flavor that we have, that we've brought here, is we're recruiting kids from all over the world. If they're good, if they care about winning, if they care about competing, if they care about volleyball, we're bringing them. And that's how you got to win at UTEP, is you got to bring people from all over the country and all over the world to be able to win here.
Now, ball, is created that way, and I know that it relates a lot with NMSU as well. They do it the same way. You have to. We don't get the first picks and of the litter or whatnot, and it always can be a challenge. But right now, winning is obviously going to help. Helps bring on better talent, and it just continues to compete. And I mean, going at this trend, I don't even know what next year brings for you guys, but I know it's going to be a good one. But we're not going to talk about next year just yet, because I know we got some big things coming up this Thursday, man. You guys going up against Marshall, number 3 seed. What are, I guess, some not giving away your secrets or anything like that, but what's your goal in this game?
Marshall presents some problems for us. They've got a Player of the Year candidate on the outside, Sierra DeBell. We beat them at home last year and swept them in our gym, and she beat the bejesus out of us. She just gave us everything we could handle last year, and we still won with a pretty average roster. And we have a better roster, a better team, and a better system this year. So I feel good about our chances playing Marshall. They're the 3 seed in the East. We're the 2 seed in the West. Okay. And our Western division was much harder than the Eastern division in many ways, because we have some really tough teams in the West, from North Texas to Rice to Southern Miss, who we just swept twice on Friday and Saturday in our gym. We had a tougher division on the West than the East did. And so I have a really good staff who knows how to prepare for teams, and we're prepared for Marshall. And they have a couple of players that are really special players, but we have a complete team. And that's many times going to win you more often the battle than the 1 or 2 special players, as long as you make their life miserable. And we have some things that are going to make their lives miserable, but we have a more complete team and we have a more complete system than Marshall, but they're very good. They've got a couple players that can win the game on their own. And we've got to make sure we have a good plan for them. And I'm very confident that we do.
That's awesome, man. Well, like I said, congratulations on that. Having the team ready. It sounds like you guys are pumped, ready to go. Finishing up the nice little details here, and then you guys head out to Hattiesburg here. And I know you guys are going to represent us very well. I say us because we'll jump on it, man. That's El Paso. We're here to support.
That's right.
And it's exciting. It's an exciting time. And so how's the family taking on this ride?
My wife knows the life that she lives as a coach's wife. She played college volleyball, so she understands the grind. She's from El Paso, being a former Eastwood trooper, and being a top level volleyball player in this city in her own right. Way back in the day, I think she was like graduating class of 2003 or 4. She's an old lady now. So she knows the life.
Watching now, Leah's hearing this too, Ben. Come on.
No, she is. I know, man. I like to put that in because she's getting to be an old lady now. She's coming up on the 40s soon in a couple of years. So the city loves its volleyball, and they embrace winners in general. If you show that you're a grinder and you show that you're a worker, the hashtag or the kind of the mantra that our team has taken is the hard hat haven. You put your hard hat on, you go to work, you carry your lunch pail, and you bust your butt, for lack of a better term. And that's what we do. I mean, when people come watch us play, they realize that we play really freaking hard, and we're going to give you everything that we can in order to make sure that we either get the win or that we die trying. And so it's the family's good, man. My sons are getting older and older by the day. I'm taking them to more practices than I can even imagine. And my little daughter keeps me on my toes, man. She is a whirlwind. We call her Hurricane Berkeley is her nickname. And she has earned every bit of that nickname, man. Hurricane Berkeley is her deal, man. She is on the fly all the time.
That's beautiful, man. Especially because the kids get to grow in it. They see the competitiveness. They see the competition at the highest level. You're winning. They see that excitement, and it just translates, right? It translates to what they're doing. So you have Ben. You have your team is doing extremely well, and then you have your family team that's doing really well as well. What are some of the sports that they got doing? That you got them doing?
My oldest son is so funny. He doesn't like sports really at all, but he loves my volleyball team, and he loves to give me grief about the stuff that he thinks we got to be better at. He's like a coach in the making, man. Like he's one of those guys that I could see down the road being a coach and being a really good coach. He's got a really good eye for things, and he comes home and he tells me, Dad, I didn't think you guys did this very well, and I don't think that your volleyball team did this really well. I was sitting on the edge of my seat in the third set when you guys got to here. But he doesn't like sports. He doesn't really love to play. I mean, he's a tennis guy, but he doesn't love sports. So it's interesting to talk to him about my team. And then there's my middle son who loves sports, and all he does is eat, drink, and sleep sports. And he doesn't care about what my team is doing half the time because he's just worried about what he's doing, So I have no idea what my young daughter is going to do. But my oldest son is so much more fun to talk about with my team because he really lives it when we're out there playing. My wife does. I mean, my wife is on the edge of her seat all the time, knowing that she played the sport, knowing that she understands the sport, and knowing the grind that I'm through every day. She lives what's going through us on a daily basis, and she's always watching the ticker when we're out of town. And she lives it, and that's the way your family lives through this stuff too. When you're a coach, I mean, it affects everybody when you're doing well or when you're not doing well. And so right now they're enjoying watching our team succeed. They're watching our team grow and get better. And it's fun to be able to have those conversations with my kids and my wife when we get home.
Sorry about that. Maybe a little connection problems there.
You're right.
I call them commercial breaks. No, but I was saying, man, that's awesome, man. I love that you get to see or hear both sides, right? You have your team that's trying to dissect different ways. They're telling you how I think we can beat this team and beat that team just based on our abilities, and we feel like we're doing really well, and we can, take advantage of their disadvantages here and there. And then you have your home team telling you what you should.
Always telling me what to do.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Cool deal. Yeah. So, I mean, again, man, I just wanted to take this opportunity to bring you on here, Ben, talk about the excitement that we got going on here with your team. The city of El Paso definitely is here to rally. We're here rallying behind you guys as well, man. And it's exciting. I don't want to take any more of your time, man, because I know we're on a tidy schedule here, to get you guys going and get you some rest, be ready to rock and roll. Want no excuses, Ben. We got to win,
man. Hey, that's what I told my team today. I gave them three things to think about. I said, number one is the teams that win in these tournaments deal with the stress really well. Yep. The teams that win in these tournaments have their identity challenged, and if you can stay within your identity, you're gonna be able to persevere. And the last thing is being able to look the other opponent in the eye and pressure them into making more mistakes than what they're used to. And so if we can do those things and not having excuses, we're going to be just fine. And Conference USA is a top 10 volleyball conference for a reason, man. We got great teams in our conference, so it's going to be tough. But I expect to go and win, and I expect to bring back opportunities for this program to win championships, and that's why they hired us here, and that's what we're going to do for the city of El Paso. We're going to bust our butt to make sure we prove our worth and represent the city well.
I love it, man. Well, you're doing an excellent job, man. I'm going to keep down on PG. I'll tell you what I really think of it, but man, keep kicking ass and bring it on here come Thursday and moving on forward.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Nah, thank you, man. Again, guys, the game here is on Thursday, 1 o'clock. That is, trying to see if it's Eastern time or.
It is 2 o'clock Central time, 1 o'clock Mountain time, and It's on ESPN Plus. So you can watch it on ESPN Plus. You just pull that up, and you should be able to pull us up and cheer us on, man. But Yippos, brother, good to see you, and thanks for having me on, man.
I love it, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thanks again.